Previous interview, you talked about struggling throughout the season. So what changed and how are you able to turn the page so that the end of the season went a lot better?
Lexie Hull seemed on the verge of fading out of the WNBA spotlight when the 2024 season began. Once a 6th overall pick in 2022, a Stanford champion, and a player who carried the aura of a future franchise piece, she found herself buried on the bench under former coach Christie Sides, watching role players pass her in the rotation. Instead of building on her pedigree, she was collecting splinters, leaving fans to wonder whether she'd ever live up to her promise or become another high draft pick written off as a bust.
You have basketball in your genes. Your grandfather played basketball, your dad, and you have a twin sister who you played basketball with growing up. What was it like growing up in that family dynamic?
Well, we have a super competitive family, and having my dad play basketball collegiately, knew that basketball was going to be put in my hands at an early age, but my parents were, super excited about having us try every sport imaginable. So yeah, we grew up, my sister.
Then came the game changer, Caitlin Clark, a generational talent whose arrival didn't just tweak Indiana's lineup, but completely redefined the franchise. Her style was pure electricity, and she didn't just score. She commanded gravity, pulling the entire game toward her. From the moment Clark suited up, the Fever's offense had direction, the chemistry sparked, and every player's role shifted. For Lexie Hull, this wasn't just a new teammate, it was a lifeline. Show your support for Lexie in the comments by writing Lexie Show. Let's go.
I think it was important to get to know her off the court because I do think that, connections, getting to know people really play a part in the success of teams.
Paul recently sat down with She's for Sports in the dunker spot, and she didn't hold back. She laid out exactly what shifted inside the Fever's locker room, how Caitlin Clark's arrival flipped her career trajectory, and what it revealed about Indiana's transformation from a struggling franchise into one of basketball's most compelling stories. This wasn't just about one player's revival. It was about redemption, leadership, and a cultural reset that could shape the Fever's future.
The clutch player by WNBA fans, and she was drafted to the W in 2022 with the Indiana Fever in the first round as the 6th pick. I'm talking about professional basketball player Lexie Hull.
The start of 2024 was rough for Lexie Hull. Despite her decorated college career and top draft status, she couldn't even break into the regular rotation. Instead, Katie Lou Samuelson and Christy Wallace, players with far less upside, were taking the floor while Hull sat on the bench, towel over her shoulders, watching her potential waste away.
At the beginning of the season, my playing time definitely looked different than it did at the end. So trusting that, I was staying ready, putting in the work so that when I did get the minutes out on the court, that I could take full advantage of them. So I was just really proud of myself for trusting the process and staying the court.
The fall hit hard. Going from a Stanford star to a bench warmer in Indiana was more than just a career setback. It was a mental battle every bit as tough as a physical grind.
The basketball part of the transition is really tough. Everybody out on the court was one of the best players on their college teams, definitely the best player likely from their high school team. So it's just this mishmash of the best basketball players, and then you're playing against people that have been there for years and years.
Meanwhile, the Fever themselves were unraveling, stumbling to a 1-8 start that left Indianapolis fans desperate for answers, and none seemed to be coming.
We were just sick that we had lost so many games, and also feeling like we were better than that.
But Hull refused to let her story end there. She committed to the grind, tightening her cuts, polishing her jumper, and staying prepared for any minutes that came her way. What kept her steady was a belief of her teammates, who saw potential even when the box scores didn't, and that quiet support became her fuel.
Part of my role is just getting to the open spots, and we have such a good offense that people find the open person. So to be that open person, you get excited. You get excited for the opportunity to shoot and score and be part of the momentum.
Then came Caitlin Clark, and with her, everything flipped. The day she entered the locker room, the energy shifted. Practices had life, arenas filled, and Indiana was no longer a punchline but the league's must-see team. Clark's edge and relentless drive set the standard, and she pulled everyone else up to meet it.
I think it's moving in a good direction. I think that it's because it's more competitive and there's more eyes on it. The pool of coaches that we can choose from, I think, will only get bigger and bigger. I think we're going to have great coaches coming up, and just excited to see, what those eras look like. It's unpredictable at this point, but excited to, talk about it in a year from now.
But this is only the beginning. The Fever have proved they can survive adversity and build momentum. But the real question is whether they can now take the next step and join the WNBA's elite. Time will tell. What's your take? Are the Fever ready to cement their place among the league's best? Show your support for Lexie by commenting Lexie Show below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment. Click the video on screen, and we'll see you in the next one.